goes really a lot faster every week, I feel.
I'm going on very little sleep, people, so I may be a little crazy. I know, and she just said it to me. I tell people about how important sleep is, and then I'm the last person to get enough rest.
Do as she says.
I'm working on it, yes. Like, yeah, do as I say, not as I do. Did your parents ever say that to you?
Yeah, all the time.
All the time. So, if those of you that don't know me, I am Lori Hoy, and this is
Dr. Fawn Schaefer.
And we are here to share with you things that we find important in our lives to share with other people about nutrition, about health and wellness in general. Not just about nutrition, but we're going to be focusing in the next few weeks on some things like that. And today we want to bust a myth. There you go.
There you go.
About dairy.
Yeah.
Cheese, yogurt, milk.
Milk doesn't do a body good.
Wipe out that. If you saw my title, wipe off the milk mustache, which has been a campaign for a long time.
And it worked.
It did.
The food pyramid says we're supposed to have 3 glasses of milk a day. Everybody believes that you can't get calcium if you don't drink your milk, and really, they're not necessarily right.
So we're going to talk about Mary. There we go. I was going to say Mary, so never mind. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about dairy today. A lot of different things. I'm going to let Dr. Fawn take it over for a while because she's got all the technical stuff. I let that stuff up to her.
Yeah. So
I can tell you the practical stuff.
Basically, like I just said, everybody has been, I don't like to use the word brainwashed, but that's kind of the thing with all the milk ads and the dairy advertising. Everybody thinks milk does a body good. Milk is where you get your calcium. And, when I say things like I haven't had milk in 3 years, people look at me and go, how do you get calcium? And I say, do you know how many other foods have calcium in them? We'll talk about those in a little bit. But, a lot of people equate milk with calcium with healthy bones. And that's not necessarily how it really has to go. There's so many other ways to get calcium. It's not even funny. But let's talk about milk for just a second. So, when we say milk, 99% of us think the big gallon you go at the store and you get it and you drink it. Well, that's pasteurized milk. That's probably the worst thing that you can do with milk in any way, shape, or form. Because when you pasteurize milk, you super heat it. And anything that is good in it is deformed and you can't use it. So the calcium that's in cow milk is actually not even something that we can use biologically because it's so deformed from the heat. So that's kind of a myth in itself that real calcium comes from milk. But don't forget too, that cow milk is not meant for humans. We are the only species that drinks milk beyond the first year of our life. We are supposed to, grow rapidly as a child and get bigger, and we are the ones that keep drinking other animals' milk for the rest of our life. Does that make sense?
It does. I mean, think about it, moms. The reason why we give our babies our milk or even milk, I know, and I was a mom. I'm trying to think back if I did formula at all. At one point in time, I had expressed my milk and saved it up because my son was premature, whole other life. But he did get my milk for the first 6 months of his life because I had stored it. But at that point in time, I'm sure I went to the formula and everything else like everybody does because that's what we were told to do.
Right.
And then at 1 year old, drink whole milk because we need to fatten them up.
Yeah, exactly.
So now we're still drinking milk as adults, and we're wondering why we can't lose the body fat that we want to lose, or dairy products, I should say. So anyway,
and when we drink the pasteurized milk, what happens is our body reacts to all those things that are broken from the heat, and that's where a lot of us, as we get all those diseases that we talk about. We talk about all the chronic inflammatory junk. And dairy is one of the number one causes of that because our body just doesn't know what to do with the dairy that we give it. There was a study, and this is probably going to freak some people out, but they actually fed a newborn calf, that's what they are, calves, pasteurized milk, and it didn't make it. I don't think any more than 6 months.
Wow.
So what does that tell you? If a cow can't live on cow's pasteurized milk, what are we doing with it? Why are we trying to make it something that we shouldn't?
So did you, in your research, did you find a reason why they started to pasteurize milk? Because I think way back when they used to deliver milk in the glass jars, it was raw or right straight from the cow. Is that, if I'm not mistaken? Right.
So you think about, I mean, the way that we mass produce milk now, there's all these worries that it's going to have bacteria and other bad things in it. So the theory is when you superheat it, you kill all that stuff. Really, in all honesty, pasteurized milk, the last person that actually died from drinking some kind of milk and having poisoning, blah, 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 it was pasteurized milk that they drank, not raw milk. So that's the kind of crazy part, is we do all these things to protect it, and it's actually making it worse for us. Raw milk, if you get it from the right people, it's safer, hands down, than pasteurized milk.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes a lot of sense. So basically, superheating these milk, it kills off the good along with the bad. So we're not actually getting what we're supposed to be getting.
Right.
And I mean, from what I understand, we need something different than just calcium for our strong bones. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Calcium is just a piece of the puzzle. It also goes along with vitamin K, which is essential for calcium calcium and vitamin D. So vitamin D, calcium, and vitamin K. All three of those things are needed in order for our body to deposit in itself the way it should be, to build our bones and do that kinds of thing. People get in trouble when they only drink calcium or only take calcium supplements, because you're not getting the D and the K that you need.
So if I sat outside in the sun drinking, no, I'm not going to say drinking milk, eating broccoli, I might be okay.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah.
Raw broccoli. But I also have read that, I know I'm getting off topic, I'm sorry, that if you, in some cases, when you heat certain vegetables, there's other minerals and vitamins that are released. So superheating isn't always the best, and I like to roast my vegetables, which is probably not the best thing to do. Always raw is always the best, but
I've also heard of people that like boil and they drink the water then, because then the minerals
that
are
would
in
make
the water.
sense.
So
okay,
but it's still, you're getting a better.
All right. Anyway, segue back to milk.
Squirrel.
Back to dairy. Yes, I'm really squirrel.
But it's totally, you can totally get enough calcium from your diet without milk in the picture. So things that have calcium include the super leafy greens like spinach and kale and collard greens. I've never really eaten those, but that's a thing.
They're good. Now, when I was in New Orleans in July, I tried them for the first time. Now, granted, I'm not quite sure how they made them and what was in it, but I was in New Orleans. It's like when you're in Vegas, you do Vegas. So I was in New Orleans, and you have to eat Southern food, and they were really good. I mean, I think they cooked them with some kind of a maybe, I don't know if it was ham broth or whether it was beef broth or whatever. And again, don't know where it came from, but they were really tasty. I'll have to find a good recipe and post it, because I'm not sure about. They were good. I mean, it wasn't. I'm not a fan of kale. I'm trying really hard, because I know you should also mix up some of your foods that you're eating anyway.
Yeah.
But before we go on with that, I know we keep saying milk.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
And I think we need to maybe just not say milk, because it's like saying diet, but it really doesn't mean just diet.
Right.
Milk, and we're talking about dairy in all forms, like cheese, which is, I love cheese. We're talking butter, and I know last week we talked about fat, right? And so one of the good fats that you can have is butter, but you have to figure out which type of butter to have.
Right.
So, I mean, there's all kinds of different products out there that have dairy in them. There's even breads, which we already talked about, grains, that have dairy in them. So, I mean, I know I need to stop saying milk and say dairy, because it does encompass more than just drinking that white liquid that I used to drink a lot when I was young. And and I thought I was good because I went to skim milk.
Oh.
Yeah. I was like total skim milk drinker, could never drink whole milk. Like the last 5 years that I drank milk, which I haven't in 2. Literally, drink a glass of milk. I can't even imagine what it would be like.
I don't know. It would be bad.
But I was to total skim milk and thought I was doing the best for my body, which now I know it wasn't the best. It wasn't awful, but it wasn't the best.
Right. Yeah. And when you think about dairy, the best way to figure out if you're sensitive to it is to cut it out. Cut it out for a week or two, and then watch what happens when you add it back in. That's kind of the gist of what I do with my Whole30 group anyway, but that's one of the big ones. And so far, when I see my clients adding the dairy back in, you'd be surprised how crappy you feel, bloated, digestive issues, all these things that a lot of kids are having nowadays, and nobody's attributing it to they're drinking milk. I mean, they're even having sinus infections and ear infections. It's crazy how much
Love
they
raw
actually...
milk. Thankful for a reliable source here in Pittsburgh.
Oh,
Lauren, aren't you lucky? I truly can say to you, I've never tried raw milk. I don't know. I don't know if I'd even like it because I'm just not I've not drank it. I'm off school right now.
She hasn't
I haven't consumed it. Goat milk, Rebecca Malott.
Well,
goat milk.
It's still not from a human, right? So, yeah, there's still, the thing about milk is the proteins in it, and our body doesn't know what to do with some of those proteins. So, it could be better than cow milk a little bit, but not by much. It's still not.
I know that's like recommended, like to eat goat cheese, which I have tried, and it's there's just something.
Well, and the most goat milk that you get is probably raw too. I'm assuming.
Oh,
so
yeah,
that's.
I
mean, if it's
better.
Raw, it's better. So it's not. It's just, and it's not something you can't have all the time. I mean, can't have once in a while.
Right.
But you don't want to have it all the time, no matter what.
So if someone doesn't exhibit some type of a reaction or a sensitivity to raw milk, is it beneficial or not to drink it?
It still does give you some calcium, like raw gives you real
right.
calcium and nutrients. I mean, raw milk has a lot more other nutrients in it that you can get to because they're not broken from the heating process. But the only bad thing about it is, if you're trying to watch your weight and your calorie intake, milk to get your nutrients is much more calorie dense than the leafy greens that we talked about and all those kinds of things. You can eat a lot more other things to get the same nutrition value than milk.
I guess I just feel like I need to throw out a disclaimer here as well. I'm not trying to bash the dairy farmers. No, absolutely not. I think our local farmers are the people that we need to support more than our supermarkets. Just saying. Sorry, Wise. Sorry, Walmart.
So if you can go straight to your farmer and get it right out of a cow, it might be better.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's people's living. I mean, we're not trying to tell people not to make a living.
Even if traditional doctors are not trying to do that. I guess for me, I know that for me, I have done this. I have eliminated it from my diet. It's slowly crept back in, and I'm sitting there wondering, what is going on? Why are my joints hurting? Or why am I getting pimples again? And da-da-da-da-da. And I think, oh yeah, it might have been the cheese I ate at the tailgate on Saturday. So I'm more aware of my body and how it reacts to certain foods if I choose to consume it. So basically it's just educating you on some things that you could be looking at if you are experiencing the same kinds of symptoms and just don't know what else to do. Yeah.
So and like I said, the best way to do it is cut it out for a while. I mean, I know it sounds hard and impossible, but
it's not hard.
It's not that hard. I'm 3 years, no milk, no dairy, no nothing. So I'm still alive. And I'm still getting all my nutrients, but just for a little while, and then add it back in and see what happens. And I guarantee you'll notice something different that tells you why you shouldn't eat it.
Now, there's a really interesting fact that you have that I saw on your notes before we came in here about how the percentage of the world that's lactose intolerant.
75% of the world is lactose intolerant.
That's crazy.
Whether they know it or not, that's the thing.
That's the thing. They don't know it.
And the majority, the biggest part is in our country. Other countries don't drink as much milk as we do. This is just an American thing where we get the whole milk does body good. Drink three glasses a day.
I used to dunk my Oreos.
Yeah.
I used to hold my Oreos underwater to drown them. Not water, I'm sorry, under milk. So I'm saying, yes, I've turned around and I don't eat those things anymore because I've figured it out. And I'm still figuring things out because it changes all the time. But yep, I used to be that person, the whole Oreo under the top of the milk until it was soaking wet. Sounds gross now. And I would think that was good.
Well, we'll talk. Yeah. Let's not talk about the fact that the Oreo itself.
Yeah, we're not going to go there. That's a whole other day. That's
reason.
Manufactured fake food. Frankenfood.
But
I like Frankenfood.
But she was right too. When it comes to taking the fat out of milk, you're better to eat, if you're going to drink milk or dairy, you're better to eat the full fat version because the fat, sparing you the biology lesson, the fat actually does better for you than when they strip the fat out of it.
Yeah,
so
we talked about that last in our last episode.
Yeah.
So if you missed the last episode on the myth about fat makes you fat, then make sure you search my videos, or even on Dr. Fawn's page, we have that video posted, so you can go and watch and learn a little bit more about why you should eat healthy fats.
You can try to watch. We were a little spotty last week.
Yeah, it was in and out, but
Yeah.
anyway, I was suffering from some gunk, but anyway. So what other foods just to give some people some other ideas, I know we said leafy greens, but where they can get the calcium that they need, along with the vitamin K and the vitamin D that actually make our bones strong, not just one piece of that puzzle.
Yeah, well, they're, like I said, the leafy greens, you're looking at salmon. Salmon with the bone in is the best, wild salmon. And sardines, which I know don't sound appealing, so go with the salmon. And if anybody knows what tahini is, it's sesame seeds. Sesame seeds all ground up. Just sesame seeds themselves work too, but tahini is an easy way to make some things out of
hummus, which is a good protein. Yeah, protein. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, and what am I missing? Almonds. So there's all sorts of
other food. I don't think so.
I don't think so. There's more, but you can totally get what you need out of your diet without dairy. So,
what about taking a calcium supplement? Because I know a lot of people like Tums.
Oh, she brings up a hot topic.
I did.
All right, listen.
Oops.
Tums does not give you calcium. Do not. I have so many people that say, "Oh yeah, I just take Tums. I get my calcium from that." Oh, that makes my ears. I have to rub my ears because so when you take Tums, calcium is supposed to settle your stomach, right? Mm-hmm. The kind of calcium in Tums is not what our body uses anyway, and when you downgrade what your stomach's doing, it doesn't absorb anything anyway. So Tums are crap. Don't do that as a supplement.
And do you know what else is in Tums?
Sugar.
Did you hear that loud and clear? Sugar.
Yeah. So
you're defeating the purpose.
Yeah.
Really. Because
listen, if you need Tums, you need to talk to us about nutrition because we can figure out what's going on with your digestive system.
There's obviously something you're eating
that you shouldn't be.
Maybe dairy, maybe something. And I know there's someone very, very close to me. I'm not going to say who, not going to call that person out, that gets excited about certain things, like watching football. And that's their first go-to is their stomach's upset, so they take Tums to settle it down because they think it has to do with them being excited. And to their whatever, and it's not that, it's the food that they're eating. It's the combination of a lot of different things.
If there's football, what's happening now? There's tailgate food. And,
there's also stress hormone like cortisol that's going to rush in there, and we need a little bit of cortisol in a good way, but it's not always in a good way.
Sometimes alcohol is involved with football.
Yeah, there is sometimes.
Yeah. Just saying, just all these things.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things.
Yeah.
But Tums is probably one of the worst things to take.
Yeah.
I mean, for a lot of different reasons, not just that.
If you're really going to take a calcium supplement, you want to look for something called calcium citrate. That's the best kind. I think the calcium that's in Tums is calcium carbonate, which is crap. Mm-hmm. But calcium citrate is the best kind of calcium supplement to take, and you can take up to about 1,000 milligrams a day. But again, like I said, you don't want to take just calcium. You want to make sure you're getting enough vitamin D, especially in the winter, because in the winter you don't get enough sunlight. I take 10,000 units of vitamin D in the winter. I take 5,000 in the summer. So most multivitamins don't even cut it. Sometimes you get like 400 units of vitamin D.
And the lighting that we have in our buildings isn't always helpful either.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So, K, a lot of vitamin D, a good vitamin D supplement comes with K.
Okay.
Mine are K2, D3. So that's the best supplement type, but we just say eat your stuff, eat stuff.
Yeah, eat a variety of foods, not just the same thing over and over again. And I know that's something I have to be changing up because I do eat a lot of spinach in a day's time. I also have a greens blend supplement that I take every day. But I know I need to eat kale more often than just spinach or.
There's probably kale in your greens.
There is in that, but like I literally do like 2 big handfuls full of spinach in my shake every morning, and I know I need to put other greens in there to get all the different benefits of all the different. We should just
eat the rainbow. That's
just
the
eat
idea.
the rainbow, but not Skittles.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No.
Now, all right. So we're talking about dairy, which includes cheeses. It includes yogurts, and now the big kick the last few years is Greek yogurt. So I don't know enough about why it's supposed to be better for us than not, which it's still dairy.
Yeah, it very well might have some extra benefit, but listen, if you're buying it at Wise's, it's got sugar in it and it's crap. So, I mean, that's not to bash Wise's or the dairy industry, but yes. But, grocery stores, you have to be careful.
So I would think if we were in Greece and they made it fresh from the animal there, then that would be probably beneficial to have that Greek yogurt, not from Oikos. Sorry. Please don't send me any hate mail. I'm just trying to educate people to make a decision to go and try it on their own.
Right.
I mean, and there could be people that don't have an issue. I mean, you said 75% of the population has lactose intolerance. But there's that small percentage, very small percentage. I know I have a sensitivity. Yeah. I know I do. I mean, it's crept back. Even though I've been eating dairy that's made from grass-fed or pasture-raised cattle, it still has a potential to be inflammatory. Right?
It really does. Okay. Yeah, it does. So
maybe a little less inflammatory.
The thing that we talk about the most is ghee. Ghee is a very, very purified butter, and the reason that is considered the healthiest dairy is because it takes a lot of those proteins out of it that people react to. So that's the cleanest form of dairy that you can eat that is least likely to give you a reaction. So.
And I know I use it sometimes in my coffee in the morning. I know people are like, what? You put butter in your coffee? I do. I put ghee in my coffee. I do. We'll talk about that another day. And why. But it does have a different flavor. I don't think it's horrible. I like the flavor of it. It still tastes like butter to me. So it's not a big shift. Yeah, no. But again, your taste buds change about they slough off like every 7 days. And then I think they completely change every 21 or something. There's like something with 7 and 21 and it's crazy.
I believe her.
I've read it. I mean, and I'm not saying I read it on Facebook.
But yeah,
hi Facebook.
But she's right.
Yeah, I've read a lot of studies about that.
With my whole 30 groups, when I tell people to try coffee later without milk and sugar in it, and they think, oh gosh, I can't drink black coffee. After like a week, they actually can. They're like, oh, this really isn't that bad. So your taste buds do change. So
you really need to get. Oh, that's another thing we need to talk about. Just give me another idea. Having the acidity level in your body. We'll talk about that another day.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, that is a thing. It's kind of crazy. We have all these things popping up in our head. So I don't know. I mean, I don't have anything else to share about dairy, other than just to say again, as we always have, this isn't a one size fits any diet out there, whether it be keto, vegan, vegetarian. What else is there? There's a paleo diet. It's not for everybody. It's not a one size fits all. You have to decide for you. You have to see what's best for your body because every body is different.
Yep.
Okay, and it's going to react differently in everyone's body as well. So, I mean, she could eat something and then I can, or vice versa. We're all made differently.
So that's why you're your own science project. That's what I
wonder
keep
if
telling
twins.
everybody.
I would love to see if there's a research out there on twins and how food. Yeah, that would be interesting. I know some twins. I might have to try that.
We can make them our own experiment.
We could. Oh, Halloween's over. So,
thanks for listening to us
absolutely,
today.
guys. If there's any questions that you have, or there's something that we said that you just want clarification, please feel free to send us either a private message. And if you know of anyone that's suffering with problems with dairy, share this video with them, or maybe they don't know, but they're having those similar symptoms that we mentioned. Please, please, please share the video with them so that they can maybe find some relief or reach out to one of us and we can help them.
Absolutely.
Because that's one of our missions is just to help people feel better and be better.
Just get in touch with us. We're here.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great Wellness Wednesday. I was trying to put hump day in it. I know.
Hump day. Well, yeah. We got it.
I have another hour work to do. Oh my gosh. All right, guys. Have a great one. Talk to you soon.